Namaskar. As said earlier, I wish to share my insights regarding art is meditation in two parts. We have discussed Kala eva dhyanam, means art is meditation. Today, in the second part, I will share my insights about meditation for painters, sculptors, and poets. In the first part, art is meditation, we discussed that existence has bestowed upon all of us one or another art to express ourselves. As humans, we express ourselves through arts, and arts as such are as good as meditation, and more so about the fine arts. We discussed an art itself is a sadhana, a penance, and all the artists pursue their swayambodh, knowing oneself by the art form they cherish. The act of applying paint to canvas, the focusing on colors and strokes, and being immersed in the creative process can help to quiet the mind and bring you in the present moment. It allows your thoughts to pass without judgment and bring your wandering mind back to drawing. Drawing becomes being in the moment and enjoying the process of creating without worrying about the outcome. Similarly, writing a few lines spontaneously, sometimes scrapping it, rewriting it, and you see something unknown is expressed. It is exactly like removing of pieces of stone by the sculptor for uncovering the statue within the shapeless block of stone. Why do I emphasize that all arts are meditations, and only condition is to pursue it as if you are not there, as persona, as if you are lost into it? Because normally we live in our mind, in our head center, as a persona, as an ego, and unless we drop down a bit to our heart center, to our feeling center, by putting aside our persona, our societal identity, our ego, we cannot approach our being, our sat, our consciousness, our real self. When we get lost into arts, as if we are possessed by the arts, then with the hunch in the heart and with the sudden jerk in the hand, with the intuition, we are moving from head center to heart center, even without noticing it. And that is what facilitated by all these arts. In fact, one of the techniques of meditation said by Lord Shiva in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra reads as put chit, we can say mind stuff, in such inexpressible fineness above, below, and in your heart. Being an artist, pursuing art as if you are possessed by it. You don't need to bother about the mind stuff and contemplating it in inexpressible fineness. The moment you are in love for any art and you pursue it totally, getting lost into it, you allow it to happen as if you are possessed by the art. Rest assured, you move to heart center, you move to egolessness, and you transcend the timelines. You are simply beyond time, and you wish to express something, but you feel helpless. You are not yet able to do so. This experience lend you to your real self, Swayam Bodh. And that is the reason to say pursuing these arts are itself meditation. And sooner or later, it will hit your sattva, your real self. Whenever you go to the canvas for painting, just sit silently for a few minutes before canvas. It is like writing. You did not think, but spontaneously something is occurring to your mind, and you are just as a media giving it access to pen down the words. You take the pen in your hand and you sit silently and suddenly find an intuition. You feel a hunch in the heart. You find a jerk in the hand, and this is not that you have done it. You know in your heart of the heart that you have not written it. It simply got written. You were simply waiting for it, an intuition. The hunch comes, the jerk comes, and the hand starts moving. Something starts happening, and the write-up is there. It may be a poem, it may be an essay, it may be a self-contained narration. The same way you should start your painting. A few minutes of waiting, just being available. Whatever is going to happen, you will allow it to happen. You will bring all your expertise into letting it happen. Take the brush and start. Go slowly in the beginning so that you don't bring in yourself, your persona in. Just go slowly. Let the subject start flowing through you on its own accord, and then be lost in it. And then do not think of anything else. Art has to be for art's sake. Then it is meditation. You should be completely possessed by the art. You may have heard Kala eva dharmam, Kala eva karmam, Kala eva marmam, Kala eva dhyanam. This is to say, art is the religion. Art is an action. Art is the essence. And art is a meditation. No motive should be allowed to enter into it. You should get lost into it. You need not remain there. You should completely disappear into your painting. And exactly the similar is the position in sculpting. A chisel and a hammer appears in your hand, but where to strike and what to remove from shapeless block is decided by the intuition, the hunch in the heart, by the spontaneous motion of the hand. And when meditation happens in you, it will find all sort of ways to be expressed. It depends on what type of talent you have. If you are a painter, you will paint more. You will paint madly. You will forget everything, the entire world. Your whole energy will be brought into painting. If you are a sculptor, you will sculpt. Keep sculpting to your fullest. If you are a poet, you will author poems you never thought of. Have you heard of Zen master Basho? He kept on writing haikus even after getting enlightened. He wrote so many haikus, hundreds of haikus, that in literary parlance, Basho and haikus have become synonymous. This reminds me the real life story of Michelangelo, an Italian sculptor, painter, architect and poet of the Renaissance period. Though born in the family of a judicial officer, due to the death of his mother at the age of 6, he was raised by a nanny and her husband being a stonecutter in the town of Settignano, where his father owned a marble quarry. His biographer, Giorgio Vasari, quoted him saying, "If there is some good in me, it is because I was born in the subtle atmosphere of your country of Arezzo. Along with the milk of my nurse, I received the knack of handling the chisel and hammer with which I make my figures." He had no interest in schooling, preferred to copy paintings from churches and seek the company of other painters. When a team of painters from Florence were invited to decorate the walls of the Sistine Chapel in Vatican, Michelangelo, at the age of 13, was introduced as an apprentice. From here, he kept advancing in church and local government-sponsored projects, which culminated in getting him a contract to carve a Pietà, the world-famous sculpture of the Piety, showing the Virgin Mary grieving over the body of Jesus. It is located now in St. Peter's Basilica, Vatican, Rome. His biographer, Vasari, said for the sculpture, "It is certainly a miracle that a formless block of stone could ever have been reduced to a perfection that nature is scarcely able to create in the flesh." His world-renowned both these sculptures, the Pietà and David, were sculpted before the age of 30. He created the most celebrated frescoes, the scenes from Genesis and the Last Judgment, in the Sistine Chapel in Vatican, Rome. It is said by his biographer that his work transcended that of any artist, living or dead, and he was supreme in not one art alone, but in all three. He was often called the Divine One. He was devout Christian, and 2 lines from his poetry, known as poem number 285, reads, "Neither painting nor sculpture will be able any longer to calm my soul. Now turn towards that divine love that opened his arms on the cross to take us in. Be it a poem, painting, sculpture, or structure, all artists strive to express something inexpressible felt by them inside in their inner. It is rare to find an artist who would be satisfied and content with his creation. Even Rabindranath Tagore, after writing so many poems, including songs for God, the Gitanjali, admitted on his deathbed that God, I have just set up my writing tools and skills, and it is time to quit the body. But the fact remains that the songs I wanted to sing are yet remains unsung. Yes, that conclusion is the realization of the truth that something dwelling within you is inexpressible, neither in the words, nor in sketch, nor in any form, nor in any shape, because it is beyond all. The truth is beyond all. If you have inclination for any of the arts, such as poetry, painting, or sculpture, just keep pursuing it. May it become your realization that you may express everything but your real self, the inexpressible, the one who is always beyond expression. Thank you very much for listening both the videos on the subject of art is meditation.